Good evening, everyone. This is Papa Guac here for our devotional Bible reading. The day that I am recording this video is June 20th. But as you can see, this is being aired on July 4th. So happy 4th of July, everyone. Today is a very special devotional. I'm following the devotionals in order of what's in my Bible, and only God could have set this up to read a devotional by Oswald Sanders on July 4th, 2025, titled Weaponless Hands of Prayer. Considering what July 4th stands for, Independence Day, it was a war. It was a fight. But the title of the devotion is Weaponless Hands of Prayer. Today, the United States turns 249 years old. There are wars and fighting and all kinds of craziness all across the globe. Weaponless hands of prayer, I think, is very fitting. And only God could have arranged this. One small fun fact: on average, most civilizations last about 250 years before they collapse. Not all, but most, and it's on average. And if you have a chance, Google that and see what it has to say. It's rather interesting. Next year, the United States will be 250 years old. Me personally, I'm afraid for my country. I say we all need to pray for the United States of America. We've turned our back against God, and we need to turn back around, because if we do not, just like Israel, God will tear us apart. And as instructed by our Bibles, while we're praying for the United States, we have a duty to pray for Israel as well. Again, the title of our devotional today is Weaponless Hands of Prayer, and it was written by Oswald Sanders. The supporting scriptures are Exodus 17, 8 through 16, Romans 12, 9 through 16, and James chapter 5, verse 13 through 18. I'll start by reading Romans 12. Romans 12, 9 through 16. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spirit fervent, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Living in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. The next passage to be read is James chapter 5, verse 13 through 18. The title of this section in my Bible reads, The Prayer of Faith. Is any one of you in trouble? He should pray. Is anyone happy? Let him sing songs of praise. Is any one of you sick? He should call the elders of the church to pray over him and anoint him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise him up. If he has sinned, he will be forgiven. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective. Elijah was a man just like us. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain. And it did not rain. It did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. Again, he prayed. And the heavens gave rain. And then earth produced its crops. The final reading comes from Exodus chapter 17, verse 8 through 16. The title of this section is called The Amalekites Defeated. Amalekites, giants. Here we go again. I believe that we spoke briefly about that last week, reading, and my feelings in regards to giants in the Bible. I am absolutely fascinated by it. The hybridization of angels mating with human women and creating these horrific things. Exodus 17, verse 8 through 16. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands." The staff of God in my hands. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held his hands up, one on one side, one on the other, so that his hands remained steady till sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekites. Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this on a scroll as something to be remembered, and make sure that Joshua hears it, because I will completely blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar and called it, "The Lord is my banner." He said, "For hands were lifted up to the throne of the Lord." The Lord will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation. As I go into the actual devotional, please keep in mind the certain part of what I just read, the staff of God. Keep that in the back of your head. as I read Weaponless Hands of Prayer by J. Oswald Sanders. Before I read this, I came across a word in the devotional that I had never heard before. I had to look up the meaning, and it's a big word, a great Scrabble word. I had to practice saying it. The word is octogenarian. I thought to myself, what in the world is an octogenarian? So I looked it up. And for those of you who do not know what an octogenarian is, it is a people group. And these people are all aged between 80 and 89 years old. Now, in the reading of Exodus that I had just done, keep in mind that Moses and Aaron and Hur, they were all in their 80s. They weren't young. They were in their 80s. They were octogenarians. Weaponless Hands of Prayer. The story of the conflict between Joshua and the Amalekites gives an encouraging parabolic illustration of the joy of intercessory ministry that is open to octogenarians. In the fluctuations of that battle, the key to final victory was not in the hands of Joshua and his army battling in the valley, but in those of Moses, Aaron, and Hur, all octogenarians on the mountain. As long as Moses held aloft his staff, symbol of his divinely given authority, the battle swayed in favor of Israel. But when from sheer weariness he allowed it to fall, victory turned to defeat. It proved to be weaponless hands of prayer on the mountain rather than the clash of arms in the valley that controlled the tides of battle. When Moses could no longer stand, he sat. When he could no longer hold his hands up, Aaron and Hur on either side held them aloft until victory was complete. Old as they were, those three were young enough to be God's hidden instruments in victory. Elderly people can pray, and prayer is more powerful than arms. Through the ministry of intercession and the exercise of their spiritual authority, those old men strengthened the hands of the younger Joshua and his men, who were struggling on the battlefront. Is that not a model for us today? This concludes my devotional Bible reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give the video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I hope that this reached and touched someone and touched their heart and inspired and lifted, and God is in control. And I don't know who this was meant for, but I know that this was meant for somebody out there. And whoever received it, I'm glad that God has used me to be His instrument at this present time and at this present moment. So as always, I hope each and every one of you have a great week, a great day, and may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. In Jesus' name. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.